The diner smelled of fresh coffee and fried bacon when Jake Miller walked in that morning. A single dad and a mechanic by trade, Jake wasn't looking for trouble. He just wanted a quiet corner, a cup of coffee, and a moment to catch his breath before heading to the shop. But the silence didn't last. Across the room, a woman in a wheelchair, her leather jacket worn and patched with the unmistakable Hells Angels emblem, was being cornered by two uniformed cops. Their voices weren't loud, but the tone was sharp, condescending, almost mocking. "Where'd you steal that jacket, sweetheart?" one officer sneered. The woman's face tightened. Her knuckles gripped the wheels of her chair. Jake didn't know her story. But he knew that look, the same one he'd seen on his late wife's face when people judged her for being sick, when strangers assumed weakness was an invitation for cruelty. He stood up. His boots echoed on the tile floor as he walked toward the scene. "Is there a problem here?" Jake asked, his voice calm but firm. The cops turned, sizing him up. "Stay out of it, buddy. This is police business." Jake didn't back down. "From where I'm standing, it looks like harassment. And if she's not under arrest, maybe you should let her drink her coffee in peace." The diner fell silent. Forks paused mid-bite. Even the waitress froze behind the counter. The officer smirked. "You know who you're standing up for? These people aren't saints. She's a biker. A gang member." Jake glanced at the woman. Her eyes glistened, not with fear, but with years of being judged, dismissed, written off. "I don't care what patch she wears," Jake said. "She's a human being. And right now, you're treating her like less than that." Something shifted in the air. The cops exchanged looks. One muttered something about wasting time, and finally, with a huff, they walked out. Jake exhaled, ready to return to his coffee. But before he could sit down, the woman spoke. "Most people don't stick their necks out for me," she said softly. "Name's Roxanne." He nodded. "Jake. Glad to meet you." He thought that would be the end of it. But life doesn't work that way. Later that afternoon, as Jake was closing up the auto shop, he heard the rumble. It started faint, like distant thunder, then grew into a roar that shook the pavement. Motorcycles. Dozens. No, hundreds. He stepped outside just as the first bikes turned the corner. Chrome gleamed in the sun. Leather jackets, bandanas, patches, all flying the red and white colors of the Hells Angels. They filled the street, one after another, engines growling like a storm rolling through town. And at the center of it all was Roxanne, rolling forward in her wheelchair, a smile breaking across her face. Jake's stomach tightened. He didn't know if he was about to be thanked, or taught a painful lesson. Weeks passed after that night. Emily didn't expect to see him again. But every few days, a new message appeared on her phone. A picture of the girls baking cookies. A video of Jack trying, and failing, to braid hair. A simple, "Hope you had a good day, soldier." They started meeting at parks, ice cream shops, even on base family days. The girls adored her. And for the first time in years, Emily found herself laughing, really laughing. One evening, during a spring picnic, Lily tugged her sleeve. "Miss Emily?" she asked shyly. "Are you gonna be our mommy one day?" Jack nearly choked on his drink. Emily's eyes widened, then softened. She smiled, brushed a strand of hair from Lily's face, and said, "Well, maybe one day, if your daddy asks nicely." The triplets squealed. Jack's face turned bright red. And under the fading sunlight, surrounded by daisies and laughter, Emily realized, sometimes the best things in life don't come when you plan them. They arrive late, but right on time. Moral. Kindness, patience, and love often walk into our lives when we least expect them, sometimes wearing red coats and carrying daisies,